It is 2024, but the vaccine misinformation that prominent elected officials are spreading are making me feel like we're right back in the thick of the pandemic. Marjorie Greene has never and will never be able to move past her one true love in politics, which is convincing Republicans to make terrible health decisions that result in their needless deaths. And so here she is once again encouraging people not to get vaccinated, saying cancer rates are at an all-time high. In 2024, the US is expected to see over 611,000 cancer deaths, which is more than 1,600 deaths each day. There are many factors involved, everything from bad food to low vitamin D. I think there's also some other much more significant factors like genetics, environmental pollutants, a lot of things, but she's focusing on that. Fine. But I believe we must investigate the COVID vaccines. Why? Because that's how she blames it. Like, honestly, I'm sure she's workshopping ideas for how the hurricanes are being produced because of vaccines. She's not there yet, but she's working on it.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
So minor credit to her. To advance her stupid theory, she actually Googled the number of people dying of cancer, and she's roughly right. It was about 611,000 in 2024. Now, why is it 611,000? I would guess because we're a country of more than 300 million people and cancer is the leading cause of death. So I think that's why. But anyway, both the American Cancer Society and the National Cancer Institute have made it clear there is no evidence to support the claim that COVID-19 vaccines cause cancer or make it come back in a patient who's in remission. Okay, so they say, the experts say there's no evidence. But on the other hand, you have Greene, who presents as evidence nothing, a sneaking suspicion, a gut feeling, just nothing. She's got nothing. And here's the interesting thing that might lead you to think that this might not make much sense, the link between those two. So when you look at the cancer cases and cancer deaths, there's actually a gender gap there. Men are more likely to be diagnosed with cancer and even more likely in a biased fashion to die of cancer. But the weird thing is, and this is not surprising at all, women are actually more likely to be vaccinated than men. So one would think that if vaccines were leading to this and it was worthy of congressional investigation, the group that's far more likely to get vaccinated would see more cancer diagnoses and death. And we are seeing, in fact, the exact opposite of that. Now, I apologize for wasting everyone's time with that because that is what we would classify as possible evidence. And obviously, Marjorie Greene has no interest in that. Sharon, what do you think?
Taylor Greene. I want people to be well, however they choose to conduct themselves and have autonomy over their bodies where the law allows their children. I just want them to have the proper information. And you're not going to get that from this lady who hails from the state I'm currently in. You're not going to get it from her. She's going to continue to spew misinformation during her CrossFit session. She's going to continue to talk about space lasers and ride her Harley around town in a bikini. There's some occasion she does that every summer, and I'm good with the bikini thing. Do whatever you want to do. You know, I don't want to say it, and I don't think many people do, but that's her right. But this thing about spreading lies and misinformation, I just want people to make informed decisions. If you've gotten the right information, you still say, I'm not doing this, okay, have at it. But she's just, it's too much.
Look, I'm going to say that since we've now normalized that you can just throw anything as a potential explanation for cancer, I'm going to throw something out that, all jokes aside, I think is actually a slightly more plausible explanation than the vaccine. I would like Marjorie Greene's tweets to be investigated for a possible link to rising cancer death rates. Because I can't say that when I read her tweets, I feel like my cells are growing cancerous, but it definitely hurts my head. I feel, I don't know, depression seeping in. I feel sad, like existential dread for the state of humanity. And all of that, it must mean something. So I'd like the CDC to investigate the effect of exposure to Marjorie Greene's tweets. And in particular, if we could focus on the period after the maximum length of the tweet was increased, I think that's more likely to cause cancer. because she uses every character she can, and that can't be good for people's health.